Hello, it's Ed. Welcome to the studio and the festive studio this week. I hope you appreciate all the work that's gone into making everything look so festive and fun. We've got a little Christmas pudding here. I've got Santa co-presenting with me, although he keeps turning his back. Got some fairy lights here, got the baubles going. It's wonderful. And outside, the snow is driving down and there are people out there caroling. There's lots of people drinking eggnog and singing songs and hugging each other. It was really hard for me to break off from all that. But I knew that your Christmas would not be complete without a festive countdown of some kind. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at 5 exciting moments from what was pretty much my first year in the studio. This obviously isn't any attempt to reuse old footage from the past, so I didn't have to come up with something special and new for Christmas, because there will be new content. There is always new content. But I hope this will keep you going and give you a bit of a lift while you digest that turkey and vegan nut roast or whatever it is that you're enjoying. Anyway, without further ado, go and get yourself a sherry or a non-alcoholic substitute and settle down, maybe a mince pie, and enjoy my countdown of the festive 5 from inside the studio. So in at number 5, I've always been a big fan of Polaroids. I love the fact it's a one-off and it's exactly what comes out of the camera. There's no post-processing to do or to be done. That said, I never actually done any proper artwork with Polaroid before. I've always used film or digital. So it was really exciting to use the opportunity of starting up this YouTube channel to go out and shoot Polaroids artistically. It kick-started my enthusiasm for film in general again. And so to number 4, more film, stretching 35mm film, basically creating panoramas on 35mm film using a medium format camera, which is something I'd not thought about before, and I really enjoyed the kind of results that I got. It was a technical challenge. I loved the technical challenge. I started off with cobbling the bits together and then moved on to 3D printing parts, and then going out, and I've always wanted to get these kind of cinematic images that you just can't get on 35mm, and medium format just seems such a waste to lose the top and the bottom of the frame. I just loved the way you got the sprocket holes on the film, and that experiment really seemed to catch people's imagination. I've got loads of views on that video, loads of love. So yeah, definitely a highlight of 2023. I find it really hard to believe now that until this year, it had been a whole 20 years since I developed a roll of film for myself. Of course, I've completely forgotten what to do, but it was a real thrill to mix up my first batch of chemicals in the developing tank and see if anything actually came out on the film. I dug out my old film scanner and found it was completely broken and incompatible with any modern software. So then I tried to use an iPhone and a piece of foam to scan my films. Pretty soon I realised you could use a DSLR to digitise negatives. And of course, once I started to watch other photographers' YouTube channels, I found this was pretty common practice. But it was a revelation to me. My first efforts were pretty rough, but once I'd invested in a cheap light box, things got a lot better. And as well as better scanning, I moved on from simply inverting digital negatives in Photoshop to using curves in Camera Raw, and that's something I'm really working on now. I've still not tried out dedicated film processing software, and that might be something I'll try next year, but it's been really exciting to experiment with combining old and ultra-modern tech in the studio. It's definitely in my top 3 discoveries of the year. And so, to number 2, in runners-up position, it's my Hillgate photo project, which I just really enjoyed getting my teeth into a proper project. I spent a good few weeks on this, researching, shooting, editing, producing the book that finally came out of it. And it's not the sort of photography that I usually do. It's more like the sort of photography I did when I was working for clients doing documentary work on regeneration projects and so forth. So in terms of the direction of my artistic travel, it didn't take me forward, but it just refreshed my mind. It got me to treat photography like a job again and got me to give structure to what I was doing. I wasn't just going out in the hope of catching something that might spark my imagination. I wasn't being reactive, I was being proactive. And there's a really lovely physical object that came out of it. I gave the proof copy that I did to my father as a gift, and he really loved it, and that means a lot to me. So could almost have been a number 1, but it comes in at number 2, and you'll see why next. the undisputed highlight of the year has to be my trip along the Lancaster Canal, shooting Ektar in my EOS 500. It wasn't my favourite film discovery of the year. That honour goes to Lomachrome Metropolis, which I really enjoyed using. But I love narrowboating, and it was just so refreshing to get out and photograph somewhere new, from the boat, from the towpath, and I got some lovely images, met some really interesting people, and most of all I just had a great holiday. So that's my number one, a happy day on the water. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for this festive special. I hope you've enjoyed looking back at some of the events of 2023 with me. I've certainly enjoyed looking back on it myself, and I'm looking forward to 2024 because I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of exciting things going on. I'm really looking forward to getting out there and taking more pictures and experimenting with new things that hopefully I can share with you. That's pretty much it. All I can say now is like, subscribe, share, you know the mantra. Have a fantastic week, have a fantastic Christmas, and a very happy and prosperous 2024. I will see you in the new year, but until then, have a great week. Bye for now.